Yo, Thought Warriors. What is up? Our learner's on. It's Ivan Lathan Jr.
And it's me, Rachel Lynn Lindsay.
Like, comment, subscribe on YouTube. Big video push happening here. Loving the video.
Yeah, we do.
Video. Did you Halloween it this weekend? What did you do this weekend?
I did a few things.
Like what?
I went to the World Series Game 1.
Oh.
Really good time. What else did I do? I went to the Lakers game, Lakers versus Kings.
Y'all here in these streets.
I mean, she's back.
She's back.
I mean, people said I was out and about before.
But now,
No.
There's nothing now?
No.
So are you a pigeon or a gerbil now?
A little bit of both. No.
Oh,
no,
a
just kidding.
Purgle?
I'm just
Oh, like Star Wars. Donnie, do you know what a Purgle is?
Are you talking about the porgs?
No.
the disappointment from me.
I don't know what a Purgle is. No.
I
Purgle-
love when Donnie doesn't know what you're talking about.
A Purgle is a Purgle or Purgle in Star Wars is a hyperspace whale. A whale that can travel at the speed of light.
Well, that's me. That's me. No, but I did. Then I went to Joy Taylor's party. Shout out to Joy. She threw a lovely Halloween party.
Enjoy.
Then I was just kind of like out and about. And then I did a breast cancer walk. Woke up, did that Sunday morning.
Mm-hmm.
And then that evening, I went and supported the Alzheimer's Association
Jesus
for an event
Christ.
that they
What a
had as
weekend.
well.
What the fuck?
It's a little bit of fun, charity at the same time.
Oh,
Okay,
it's a
yeah.
full weekend.
Yeah. It was a good weekend.
I watched football, and then I went and watched football with Simmons. Excruciating
Yeah.
LSU loss. Excruciating
Was
loss. Yeah. Well, because we were up, and then they just came back.
Whooped it.
Whooped it. Whoop that trick, get him. Whoop that trick, get him. Whoop that trick, get him. Whoop. And then, of course, the Cowboys and the Saints are both in this.
I've completely given up.
Yeah, that.
It's completely given up.
But so much news happening though, man.
It
Are
was
you
a
into
busy
football this
weekend.
year? Are you into football?
I am. I will say that I haven't been as into Sunday as I am into Saturday. Just something always seems to be going on, and I just don't catch it. And I'm really disappointed in the Cowboys. So it just really makes it hard to rally. Of course, I watch because I do fantasy, but not with the same joy.
Yeah.
Are you? You asked. Are you into it? You're into college more than pro, right?
College is it's a great crazy season of college, but like pro, not so much. You told me that you have more venom to spew at Hootenanny.
Well, I was out in these streets this weekend, so I ran into a lot of Thought Warriors, and several of them do not like Hootenanny.
Okay, tell me
They
why.
said, they didn't say specifically why. I think it speaks for itself, but specifically it was, love the podcast, love you and Van. We got to let Hootenanny go.
Okay, I don't think this is true.
I swear, I swear on Copper and Brownie that was said to me this weekend. It really was. They were like, but we got to leave Hootenanny alone. I was like, I'm trying to tell them. It doesn't. Let me tell you something. I'm here with you. It don't translate to me. So I can only imagine what the people who are watching and listening feel about a green plastic owl. Is the name Hootenanny cute? Absolutely. Got to give it to you on that one. That's where it ends.
Donnie, your thoughts on Hootenanny?
I'm a fan. I
Damn it, Donnie. Damn it.
We have a poll or something and get like some real response from the Thought Warriors because I'm a fan.
Let's do a
Why?
poll.
Why, Donnie? Why?
Well, first of all, I like birds, and owls seem to be the smarter, stereotypically, of the birds.
Is that real? Can I ask you, is that real or just something that we've watched in cartoons and stuff? With
No,
the
I think
wise owl.
crows-
Are owls really smart?
Crows are smarter.
Crows are pretty smart. I think that owls, they have a studious look to them.
That thing looks creepy.
As does Hootenanny. I think Hootenanny should be our mascot.
Absolutely not.
Because he's a studious owl. It's higher learning.
OVO. This is really what it stems down to.
Yeah.
No. OVO.
See, but I'll tell you something. I think that the owl community doesn't like that. The owl community doesn't like that they've been made the mascot. Hootenanny standing in the
Did
fray.
Hootenanny tell you that?
Hootenanny did tell me that.
Donnie, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt you. You had other reasons as to why you like this thing?
I like Hootenanny for a lot of
No,
reasons.
Donnie.
Oh, excuse me.
That was it. And the Hootenanny, the name, I feel like it's really good. Ben kind of knocked it out the park with Hootenanny. I mean, it fits. It fits the theme of higher learning. I'm a fan.
What?
And-
It's an inanimate object. Why does it fit the theme of...
Well, first of all, Rachel, I have to be honest with you. You don't have like very much of a leg to stand on in terms of this because of your Muppet situation, which is...
Were people upset?
Like, there's a lot of talk about maybe, because this is the deal. I have maybe too much childlike energy. I'm childish. I get it. I'm childish. I don't know why. I just love it. I love it.
I have childlike energy.
No. But you're the adult in the room.
I am.
You don't like the Muppets, okay? You don't like any types of whimsical fairy tale type movies.
That is not true.
That's
not true.
You don't like, and so Hootenanny's not gonna, and maybe you pull me to your side, I pull you to my side.
Okay, fine. I looked up Are Muppets Creepy? And there's a whole Reddit.
I mean, I'm sure there's some people that think that they're creepy, but it's preposterous. Anyway, we have Roy Wood Jr. on the show today.
Mm-hmm.
You excited about that?
I am.
I like him.
I like him too.
We're bringing Roy Wood on to talk about Trump's rally at Madison Square Garden. So let's get into it a little bit before Roy gets here. It's a week before Election Day. This was supposed to be Trump closing the deal. Everyone wants to close the deal. They want one sweeping moment before people head to the voter box, ballot box, voter box, whatever, before people head out to vote. Although there are many people already voting all over the place. This fucking backfired. The
Did it?
rally at MSG had been compared to Nazi white supremacist rallies in the past, particularly one held by Adolf Hitler and his Nazi cronies back in the day. And it seems like, and I'll just be honest with you, that the Trump campaign kind of leaned into that. It was, from what I've watched of it, and I've tried to watch as much as I can, it was mean-spirited. It was filled with insults and not at all veiled fascist talking points. One Trump supporter called Harris the Antichrist. Grant Cardone claimed Harris has pip handlers. Sid Rosenberg called Hillary Clinton a sick son of a bitch. Democrats more broadly as Jew haters and lowlives. Rudy Giuliani, the broke bastard that he is, he said that the Palestinian people are taught to kill at 2 years old. Melania was there. A couple other things happened. We're going to get to comedian Tony Hinchcliffe of Kill Tony fame and some of the jokes that he made. We're going to talk about that a little bit with Roy Wood Jr. But it seems like this was a mean-spirited, anti-American, blood of our nation pep rally. And it seems to have backfired on Trump a little bit.
When you say anti-American, it depends how one defines what an American is.
Very true.
And, you know, I like you, tried to watch as much as I could. I didn't mainly because I kept getting disgusted at what I was watching. But it's interesting when you say it backfired, because it didn't. There's a clip of ours that's going viral right now from comments that you were speaking towards regarding Trump, and how he's viewed and how he can pretty much do anything and he gets away with it, right? And I'm really paraphrasing what you said because it was much, much better than that. But he can. So nothing was surprising or shocking that I heard, even if it might have been jarring. But it's not going to change anything. I've seen a lot of people, and we kind of talked about this before, but I've seen a lot of people say, don't focus on the person. Focus on the policy. Focus on the policy, not the person. But I don't know how you separate the two when I hear people say that, which clearly means that person's voting for Trump, right? I'm seeing a lot of it from white Christians saying, because they want to defend their actions as to why they're voting for somebody who's so anti-Christ-like. They want to justify it. So they say, well, no, we're voting on the policies because the policies reinforce our beliefs. Well, I don't understand how you can separate a person from a policy when that person, especially the second time around, that as a person and what they think is going to influence the policies that they're trying to implement. Trump's, in addition to Make America Great Again, Trump's saying, now Trump will fix it. Trump will fix it. That's the motto. But when you watch that rally, it makes you wonder what Trump will fix it actually means, because all that rally did was divide and hopefully, to conquer. We're going to get into Tony later, but he, when he said what he said and when he made his excuse, or when he defended himself, he said he made fun of everybody. He didn't make fun of white people. And
you watched his whole set?
I watched his whole set. I mean, he said, I think he made a Jewish joke.
Yeah, I watched this whole set. I didn't see it either. I think that's important. Now, the reason why I asked, I think that's important.
I watched the whole thing.
I watched this whole set, yeah.
And I watched it specifically because he said, you guys aren't paying attention to, you didn't listen to the whole thing. Cool. I'm going to watch the whole thing.
Watch the whole thing, yeah.
He did not talk about white people. Everybody else got it except for white people. So that's why I go back to, it depends what type of American you're talking about. Because that rally is talking about a very specific American. And to once again refer the clip that's going viral, and that America is to protect and guarantee the protection of whiteness.
Okay. So we disagree here. I do think it backfired. Okay. I think it backfired because there is something that happens with Donald Trump every time we get back into the Donald Trump sphere. We're normalizing. We're normalizing of Donald Trump.
Sure.
Let's forget about the evangelical Christians, right? They're no longer serious. They're their own political party. Okay. I'm not talking about Christianity as a whole. I'm talking about a very specific type and wing, the evangelicals who no longer have their arms around Christ or their arms around the best parts of any religion. Today's evangelical Christian and the things that they reinforce in popular society and culture, those things and those people are antithetical to the best parts of any religion, which preaches tolerance, which preaches understanding. Most religions preach pacifism, neighborliness. All of those things are the antithesis of what the evangelical Christians are right now. To me, it's a cult that's walking hand in hand with Satan. All right, said that and I meant that. And if you're upset, take it up with your God. However, I do think at a time when people are starting to normalize the race, when we're saying it's this political wing and it's this political wing, it's this set of policies and it's this set of policies, it is important to see that there is a cultural imperative on one side of that. And sometimes, even though there are disgusting anti-trans ads running every fucking 5 minutes on the TV when you're watching your football.
Yeah, it's big.
I do think that sometimes these are just two different political sides. I think that worms its way into people's psyche. And when we talk about Trump and we talk about Trumpism and MAGAism, identity is at the core of it. And so to see them at this rally be assholes.
Sure.
Like literally be like assholes. These are the mean, racist people from your community meetings, from your school, from your job. These are the asshole, jerk, wasp, dickheads. And I think it's important to ask people if they want to vote for that. Now, for the people inside of that cult, probably doesn't matter. But I think in terms of framing what it is that people are up against, I think that this was a gift from the MAGA crowd and from the Trump campaign in the waning hours of the campaign.
So you think that, because I'm listening to Backfire in the context of how it will determine how people vote at the polls, right? We know that voting is already underway, early voting, and many people have voted. Do you think it backfired in the sense that it will turn people away from voting for Trump?
I don't know if
because that's the only way that the backfire counts to me.
I don't know if it'll turn people away, but I'm not really looking at the turn people away. I'm wondering if it gets people out. because I don't think that there are very many minds that get turned from being a part of MAGA World. But I'm wondering if there are people who the undecided voter that maybe exists or doesn't exist. I don't know how they could exist at this point. And I'm wondering whether or not those people who are just having a difficult time defining what this movement on the right really means, if they see something like that and it doesn't goose them a little bit to get up and maybe go vote. And we're talking about literally, Rachel, and this is the thing that people sometimes don't remember or forget or whatever, don't understand. We're talking about hundreds, maybe thousands of people that are needed to flip the election in places. We're talking about 500 people. We're talking about 1,000 people.
Yeah.
We're talking about something like this and whether or not it moves that many.
Yeah,
and I'm saying that whether or not this wins an election, who knows? But the fact that this is being perceived so poorly is good news.
Why you didn't tell me this was coming off?
Tell you what's coming off. What's going on up there, by the way?
Just clipped up. Why you didn't tell me?
You know what? Leave that. You know what? You know that doll, that meme of that doll, Donnie. You know what I'm talking about?
I know what you're
I know. Yeah.
Actually, hold on. Hey, Rachel, you know that meme of that doll? That's how you know you had a good weekend. By the way, can I tell you something real quick?
I don't think I have a choice.
You repping Hoover right now.
Hoover?
Yeah, you repping Hoover right now, man. You need to be careful, man. Shout out T-Rail. Shout out Smack.
Who?
Jap 5, like you repping.
Is this a head joke? I'm just gonna go ahead and assume this is a head joke. I don't know which the reference this is though.
You didn't check in. She needs to check in.
Rachel, you repping Hoover right now. See, you haven't been in LA long enough. You don't know
Orange?
Orange.
I thought I was safe with Orange. I actually thought about it for a second and I was like looking at my bandanas and I was like, Orange is safe.
There is no color.
Yellow?
In LA that is safe. No. There's no color in LA that is safe. LA.
Oh God, I'm going home after this.
LA, by the way, the guys that you have, the color that's on top of there, the orange, I can make an argument that they actually the craziest niggas around. I can make an argument that those are the guys that have probably maybe the most enemies. And hey man, shout out to everybody. You know, I wish I could have like with all the colors. I've pledged to join all the gangs.
A rainbow?
Yeah, like put me on every different set. Wow. That's why, but
I really didn't know.
You don't know.
It's crazy because I made a conscious decision to pick this color because I thought safe.
Those guys, them niggas right there might be the most turned. If you purple, do you think purple is safe?
No, I didn't think purple was.
Grape Street.
Green?
No, green is not safe.
Gosh.
Like it.
White?
White might. I don't know about white. We'll bring glasses.
Of course,
Malone
white
on.
Is safe.
Yeah, we'll bring glasses Malone because remember some of these gonna be. Shout out to the essays. Some of these gonna be on the essay side of things.
No, I figured that.
You know, but orange, yeah, man. Or the Houston Rockets cap, all of that.
The Houston Rockets cap?
No, not the Houston Rockets cap. The Houston Astros cap is what the Hoovers.
Really? Oh, the orange.
The orange. They do the orange.
So you're saying it's a Latino?
No,
gang?
no, the Hoovers are not a Latino gang. They started off as Crips, and some of them still are Crips, but then they were so turned that they broke off from the Crips, and now they're just the Hoover criminals. But
well, now I just wish you were making a head joke.
You got to pause with this. I try to be Donnie. I try to be a grown up about these things, but you keep saying making a head joke, man. Chill out, man. Chill out with that. Chill out with all of that shit. No, I'm not doing it because.
Go ahead, take the bait.
No, I'm not taking the bait because the audience already. Our audience
is cooking.
What?
The joke. You're thinking of it.
I'm not thinking of it now. I'm off of that. Our audience, by the way, is like fucking high strung right now. I could tell that the stress of the election is getting to the thought worst.
It's getting all of us.
Rallies
like this just make you even more just on edge.
Okay, so we're having a discussion about comedy now and its utility and limits, and we don't know that much about comedy, but we have friends here at Higher Learning, and one of our friends is a comedy expert. And he's... Why does that make you laugh?
It's true.
At being an expert on comedy?
Because you ain't never good at this shit, man. You just keep trying. That's all it is. I'm sorry. Keep going with your introduction.
No, it's good. So you heard his voice. You know his voice.
Very humble.
Roy Wood Jr., comedy expert and multimillionaire of the highest order, one of the richest men on the planet, joins us today on Higher Learning. Roy, how you doing?
Hey, man, don't be lying to these folks out there and getting me DM by people that's got hopes and dreams attached to my net worth. Look at my background. If I was rich, I'd have all the backsplash and the shit back there. I ain't even put no books up.
But I see you got the gold AirPods.
Yeah,
I've never seen that before.
Never.
I've never seen that before, Roy.
There are certain things I splurge on. I don't do jewelry. I don't own a car. So every now and then an electronic, treat yourself. Let's get to the comedy, because if we got time on the backside, I need to agree with Rachel about Muppets and why they're all creepy.
Thank you.
We'll come back to it.
Oh my God.
You.
All right, Roy.
I know I wasn't alone.
Man. Okay. Well, let's get to it. Okay. We talked about the Trump rally a little bit earlier. There was a comedian that took the stage. His name is Tony Hinchcliffe. Now, you guys, if you guys are thinking it's some small, obscure comedian, it's not. He's actually pretty popular. He hosts a show called Kill Tony. He's been around for a very long time. He's part of Joe Rogan's sphere. Very direct insult comedy style.
Yeah.
He took the stage at Trump's rally, and this is some of the stuff that Tony said while he was up there. We're going to talk a little bit about what this means on that particular forum and whether or not it was appropriate a little bit after. But we want you to hear some of the things that he said. Start off by what he had to say about black people.
All right. Heck yeah. It's a cool black guy with a thing on his head. What the hell is that? A lampshade? Look at this guy. Oh my goodness. Wow. I'm just kidding. That's one of my buddies. He had a Halloween party last night. We had fun. We carved watermelons together. It was awesome.
Not the only people he hit. He also got to Puerto Ricans and the island of Puerto Rico, which has pissed off almost everybody. Donnie, hit us with it.
There's a lot going on. Like, I don't know if you guys know this, but there's literally a floating island of garbage in the middle of the ocean right now. Yeah. I think it's called Puerto Rico.
So, Roy.
Okay. All right. Okay.
Wait a second. There's been a conversation. Tony came out and he defended himself. He said that he hit everybody and these are just jokes. And there's been a conversation, an ongoing conversation about what's okay from comics, what is comedy, and what should be taken seriously. He says this is all fair game in comedy. What does Roy Wood say?
I think you can make a joke about anything you want to make a joke about. I just don't think comedians can get mad if people got backlash on it. Also, we have to start looking at the venue of where you're doing comedy. First mistake I feel like any comedian make is doing jokes behind a podium. Because automatically, like, you know, the most disrespectful thing about all of this is that every article that's mad at Tony Hinchcliffe refers to him as a speaker. And it's like, that's where you already know the jokes didn't land. When people refer to you as speaker and your jokes are remarks. That's the one thing you don't want as a comedian. It ain't jokes I would have made. Like, if you look at, like, say, the Correspondents' Dinner, if you put Tony Hinchcliffe in the Correspondents' Dinner where you expect comedy that's going to be on the edge, then you're going to get that and you expect it, and it's not that big of a deal. But to make those types of jokes in that type of venue, of course, it's going, you know, you done fucked up when Bad Bunny and J-Lo and Geraldo are mad.
I didn't even see Geraldo.
Yeah, Geraldo's pissed.
Yeah, everybody came out. Like, most of the prominent Puerto Ricans all stepped out and said something, you know, about what Tony did. But, you know, you can do jokes, but if you're doing jokes in certain venues where people are charged up, it's not going to go well. It's going to always be an uphill battle, man.
So with everybody's mad, everybody's upset. Even people from Congress people in the GOP are speaking out against what Tony had to say. With all the backlash that he's getting, do you think he should apologize?
No, you can't apologize. Not as a comedian. You can't apologize for the jokes. You can respect the fact that folks didn't want to hear them, and whatever happened on the backside of your career, that's on you. But if you apologize, then you're creating a dynamic for the next comedian to have to apologize. Because you got to remember, as a comedian, I'm also thinking about this from the angle that I want to make edgy jokes too. Or you go all the way back to Michelle Wolf with the smoky eye against Sarah Huckabee Sanders joke. There's always going to be somebody that goes, you went too far. I don't think he helped the GOP. When Trump's campaign has to release a statement going, the statement of views of Tony Hinchcliffe do not reflect the reviews of the Trump campaign, and we love all the Puerto Ricans. Please vote. I think you done fucked up. I think you done fucked up. So, and in that, but an apology does what, Rachel? Like that. My issue with comedians apologizing for jokes is that they'll go, you should apologize. And then you apologize. And then they go, well, you can keep that apology. You shouldn't have done. It's just an opportunity for you to be re-scolded. So if people ain't fucking with you, just accept that and move on as a comic and lick your wounds. I think what we also forget is that a lot of these comedians that we try to cancel now, the one thing you ain't heard in the last couple of years with any of these comedians is they need to go after their job, or they need to fire them. They need to take them off of whatever show. All these cats are self-made. All these comedians are stirred apart, and that's from Chappelle on down. All of the outrage against Chappelle, all I did was get him a 20 mil re-up with Netflix. So the idea of there being some efficacy in the outrage lessening or hurting his pockets, Kill Tony's audience is his audience. And that boy been living in the shadows for a long time, making a lot of money. A lot of people, this ain't first time ever hearing of him. So I don't know how a comedian can make something right. If that's the jokes Tony wanted to do, cool. I'm not making no jokes about watermelons and Puerto Ricans at a racially charged and divisive time in our country. That's not me. But I don't think he should apologize. Because it ain't gonna fix shit.
So let's talk about you. You have a show right now that you're hosting on CNN called Have I Got News for You? It's CNN's Have I Got News for You. It's on Max. It blends political news with comedy, which is something that you've done for a while. It's politics in it. So you understand the line that you walk when you're talking about politics and you're doing comedy. Do you do it a different way? With the way people consume politics and how important it is to their daily lives, is there a way that you do this? You've been on the White House Correspondents' Dinner. You do this. This is kind of your wheelhouse. Is there a different way that you go about it when politics is such a portion of your comedic content?
The thing is that also, Van, is that the line changes based on sensitivities and where people are feeling and where we are as a nation. I feel like it's your job as a comedian to be able to read the room and figure out where the third rail is and where the live wires are that you're not supposed to touch. But for me, it's like CNN, the benefit that I get at CNN that I didn't get at The Daily Show is that at CNN, this show is basically, it's a lazy-ass quiz show about current events from the past week. So we just asking questions about, and you learn about current events. Whereas with The Daily Show, you have to get to the causation of the problem that you're making jokes about, or present a solution to the problem. That was pretty much, that was like the creative spine of every segment we did as a correspondent. It's either whose fault is this or what's the solution? And within that, you find the jokes. And so with this show, it's a lot lighter. So I get to just more so inform people than really dig into who we need to point the finger at. But I think there's still a responsibility, whether we like it or not as comedians, that you can say, I'm just making jokes. And hey, I ain't trying to make no jokes to start no riot. That's cool. But you got to respect the fact that some folks are going to use that as the ammunition to justify doing terrible shit to people.
Let me ask you a question. Is there any such thing as accountability for a comic? Should we expect accountability from comics? Is that even a fair expectation, or is that not a part of the calculus that goes into being a stand-up comic or a fan of stand-up comedy?
I don't think any comedian writes a joke with the idea that this the joke that's going to change the world or really set things off. I think the issue now is that we got a lot of folks that are mistaking outrage for applause, so they perform for outrage and reaction. And if that's how you perform, that's not sustainable. I think that's creatively lazy. You're not doing anything that's really, in my opinion, performatively good, because you're just going, oh, you can't take a joke. Where the fuck is the punchline, bro? Where's the attempt at making someone laugh? So if you're saying stuff to get people to react negatively or positively, to me, that's a whole nother, that ain't even performing as much as that's just being a pundit or a commentator, man. I don't think we should be putting that responsibility, because not every comedian is trying to change the world. Some comedians just trying to tell you about their family. Some comedians just trying to tell you, like, if you look at the 85 South show, if we just use them as an example, they up there just trying to give you some. It's two types of comedy. It's comedy that faces the problem and comedies that help you escape the problems for 90 minutes. 85, the most brilliant comics do both. You take like a Cat Williams, where like Cat could talk about something way over here, and then he could somehow bring that back into a political issue. Chappelle does that to a degree as well, though I feel like Chappelle with his specials, he might be very introspective in one special, and then the next special, it's reactionary to, whatever's happening around him. But I don't think any comedian should be sitting out here acting like their jokes are as good as activism or as good as going out and door knocking and petitioning. It can be if you want it to be. Like, even with my material, bro, like, I try to just find the third rail or the third prism at how to view something. I ain't got the solutions to everything. So I don't want to do preacher comedy. That doesn't interest me. But if I can take something we already been laughing at and I can figure out another angle to look at it, then maybe that helps to normalize the conversation around that issue. But I can't get on Reddit and start seeing, well, how many people started looking at such and such thing after the fact. All I can do is just say that Clarence Thomas mama, you can buy Clarence Thomas for the price of a house in Georgia. So the Democrats need to start buying Supreme Court justices. Right. That's the solution. So you want to talk about Roe v. Wade? Let's talk about the fact that you can get a Supreme Court justice for $100,000 and 2 trips. Clarence Thomas busting it open. Them trips wasn't that expensive. If you're looking at what the billionaire Harlan Crow, what he bought him for, that's a deal, bro. Eric Adams. The Turkish government got Eric Adams for $100,000.
Yeah, Turkey.
I could. If me and Trevor Noah put our money together, we could buy a couple of mayors. So to me, that's the joke. Right. Now, within that joke, if you then understand the idea that political corruption, and it's so easy to corrupt people, and that if you really pay attention to the Eric Adams issue, you'll notice that foreign governments are infiltrating our country at the state and local level, affecting policy of politicians who will soon be in Washington. That's how you infiltrate Washington. If you get all of that from that joke, great. But if not, I don't know how to, in a funny way, spell out all of everything of what I just said to you just now. But that's what I truly feel. So I try to use, like, for me, that's how I try to use politics to spin some of this shit. And I just don't think every comedian is intelligent enough or has the work ethic or the interest to approach every joke like that. And so the moment we say comedian, we assume all comedians to be held to the same standard as cop or firefighter, like we all came out of the same ethics academy to do this craft, and we didn't. And so that's where judging one the same as the other, society is now going to say, well, none of y'all can say the joke about the thing. Well, what if my joke is good? You ain't going to even listen to the premise? And I think that, comedian Mike Birbiglia said it, years ago. He said that comedy only works if we all agree on the premise. And now we don't even agree that the earth is flat, bro. So if I start a joke from that spot,
that the earth is round,
it don't even matter what the punchline is. You don't agree with the premise.
Right.
So right there. So when you're watching, as a liberal, a Trump rally, the entire event is a premise you don't agree with. So it's never going to connect. Right. So apologize to who and then get what? You're better off standing on it and becoming a martyr amongst your fan base.
I'm curious, and I'm asking you to speculate a little bit, especially because of what you just did that was funny. Do you think, I think we can all agree that Tony bombed. If he was funny, do you think that we wouldn't even be talking about this?
What is funny? That's the thing. I don't think every joke landed. Let me just say that.
Mm-hmm.
I'll agree there. But here's a question back to you. Is there a conservative comedian that you like? Is there a comedian you don't agree with that you like right now? Because that's rare now.
So,
like the idea of a Carlin, like Carlin can make you laugh even if you didn't agree with him.
Yeah.
Like Tony bombed. Okay, he bombed by the standards of political ideology within that. There was punchlines. There was attempts at punchlines. The Puerto Rican thing, that's a punchline. It's not a good joke, but it was a punchline. And have you seen those Puerto Ricans that are already outside the rally talking about, I'm still going to vote for him regardless?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Which to me is an even worse endorsement because they're going, I don't care about the joke. I still like Trump versus the joke was funny.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's interesting that you asked that question, because I think that's a very key question. And so I would say the takeaway, conservative comedians, I can't think of any right now that I'm into, because I can't think of any comedians that I would identify as directly conservative.
As a whole.
But I'll say this,
you might find jokes funny.
So there are jokes that are from white guys about black people that I think are funny. Like Bill Burr has a joke. He has a couple of jokes, but he has one where he was talking about going to meet a girl in Harlem and how more nervous he got as the numbers of the streets went up.
Yeah, and then it started naming civil rights leaders. And like anytime you're dating a girl who lives on streets named after civil rights leaders, he gets nervous.
He gets nervous. That's funny. Like it's funny because it's not totally it's not racially charged, but he's making fun. Or the one that he has where he says, white guys say, this motherfucking Asian.
Yeah.
And black guys go, hey, this Asian motherfucker. He goes, just the placement of that motherfucker completely changes the joke. There are comedians that make these things, but like, I think the punchline of Puerto Rico being an island filled with garbage, that it's a garbage island, that the people and the culture and all of that being the funny thing is the thing that, like, I look at that and I go, who would laugh at that?
Yeah.
Like, who would laugh at all the people there being garbage? Who would why would that be funny to anyone, calling a whole group of people garbage?
And that's what Tony's done over the course of his career. That's the type of humor he's done. Mm-hmm. I'm not saying it's for me.
Right.
I'm not saying it's for you. I think the difference between Bill Burr also is that, and Carlin too, is that Burr has a way of creating a power dynamic within the joke where the minority is either equal or greater than. He has a joke about being on the train and how black people can use racism and white people can't, and how a black guy was trying to get on the train, but the door was closing on him and the train was crowded. And the conductor is yelling at the black guy, and the black guy goes, why you ain't yelling at these honky motherfuckers? And the whole joke is about a black guy attacking white people and how as a white man, he couldn't say shit as equally racist back to the black guy. So I think there's a way that you got to craft a bit in a way where it makes sense. When you start speaking in broad generalities, man, you're going to piss people off. That's just the reality of it. And as a comedian, if you want to step on that landmine, go ahead. That's not the type of comedy I'm trying to do. And I think this is probably the last comedian that's going to get booked by the Trump campaign for the election. I just think if you make the attempt, you have to stick the landing. That this is I love baseball, and this is a terrible analogy, but I was talking with Cliff Floyd, who does broadcasts for the Chicago Cubs, and we were talking about it was a regular season game where a runner, Shohei Ohtani, tried to steal third base and he got thrown out. No, it was a player for the Cubs tried to steal third base, and he goes, "If you're gonna steal third base, you gotta steal third base. That's the rule in baseball. You don't get thrown out at third base." I've heard white comics use the N-word in a way where I'm like, all right, ain't saying I'm going to go and play it on BET.com, but if you're going to make the attempt and you're going to structure it, it needs to be structured in a way where you're trying to make sure that you're trying to get a laugh and not a groan. And if you're only performing for groans and outrage, that's a limited reservoir of returns, man. And I don't know. That's just not how I'm trying to. If folks groaning on me, man, I done something wrong. That's not my style.
Last question for me about the speech of the rally. When he started off talking, he started talking about free speech being at stake. And he probably would say that, and he was saying it was, and he probably after the backlash would say that that's currently the case now. Do you feel that way as a comedian?
That free speech is at stake?
Yeah.
Or in peril.
You know, and any comedian saying that is saying that to rile up their fan base, to make them think that they're in a battle and that we are in it together. Now give me some of your money. Make sure you like and subscribe. I cannot think of a comedian other than Kathy Griffin who did something that legitimately cut off her paper. I'll wait. Kathy Griffin did the Trump beheading picture.
Yeah.
And Hollywood closed doors on her. Venues would not book her. She couldn't even get road money. So you take someone like Shane Gillis, who's probably the last of the white boys to lose a job over some old racism that they dug up, right?
Mm-hmm.
That boy balled out to millions of dollars on tour, a Netflix special, and a Netflix sitcom that's going into his second year. Louis C.K. came out of whatever purgatory that he was sent to, sold out Madison Square. We already talked about Chappelle getting his re-up, and who was outraged more than Chappelle? Chappelle had them trans employees at Netflix protesting, losing a job to speak out against that man. So the idea of you can't speak freely, if you can't speak freely, then show me how it is affecting your bottom line. I think a lot of comedians also have mistaken freedom of speech for freedom of venue. You don't get freedom of venue, my nigga. You get to talk whatever you want. And if worse come to worse, you get a PA system and you stand on the corner like them folks do in New York. Be out there on the curb. Like, I don't know, pick a religion. Every religion got somebody on the curb. I ain't gonna just say, I almost said Hebrew Israelites, but it ain't just them. I'm from the South. Them Baptist preachers be on the corner.
That's why I first heard it.
Yeah.
That's why I first heard it. You going into the club and somebody standing outside like, hey, you're walking into the gates of hell. And I'm like, God damn, not right now. It's Friday. You know what I'm saying?
Young lady, cover it up, young lady. Yeah, and so this idea that you can't have no freedom of speech, that's a lie. Ain't nobody getting locked up. Now, I will say, if Trump get in office, we're going to find out just how free speech really is, because that boy already talking about locking up folks and taking away licenses. And I really do believe that there will be some degree of an attempt at dictatorial, like there's a comedian, I can't remember the country in Asia. There's a comedian, it ain't just Asia. Like there are comedians in other countries that get locked up for talking shit about the government. Have your researcher dig on that real quick, but I'm pretty sure it was somewhere, there was a country in Asia where a buddy was talking sideways and getting locked up like Lenny Bruce, like it was the 1950s, bro. So if you always have a place to perform and people who want to give you money, or YouTube deplatformed me and demonetized me because I'm speaking the truth, that's suppression. No, it ain't. YouTube ain't no different than a store or a Ticketmaster venue. We don't want you up in here. So you just go find somewhere else. Andrew Schultz lost the booking of his venue. Schultz did that Trump interview, and then he lost a venue for what he suspect was having Trump on his show. He booked another venue and sold it out in a week. Is he suppressed? Or did that venue just go, we don't rock with Schultz? And then this other venue goes, we do. You still get your money. So I don't buy that freedom of speech is under attack bullshit, because that's just people manipulating y'all into thinking that y'all are in a war with them. Anybody who's telling you that they rights and your rights is under attack, I guarantee you right behind it, they finna ask you for some bread.
Let's get into this Muppets thing, man.
Or sell you a watch or some shit.
Right. Hopefully it's a good watch. Let's get into this Muppets thing, man. Like, Rachel has shocked everyone here at Higher Learning by saying that the Muppets are creepy and that she doesn't like the Muppets. And here comes one of America's favorite faces, Roy Wood Jr., somebody that everybody loves. Everybody loves. He coming on here and you saying you agree with this heresy from my co-host?
If I was asked to be on Sesame Street, I don't know if I would go.
Yes!
I don't know.
And tell them why. Yes.
They're furry. And let me just say this broadly. I never really watched Sesame Street growing up. I was aware of it. but I watched Square One.
Okay.
That was my show. And I watched You Can't Do That on Like I was on the Nickelodeon side of the game. Yeah. So that's what I watched. But I didn't rock with Sesame Street. Fraggle Rock was creepy. I didn't fool with none of the Muppets movies. Ain't seen not nan one of them ever. And I can't, bro. I don't fool with dolls. Little figurines. Like if I go in your house and you got them little figurines, I leave that room. Like I'm ventriloquist. I don't fuck with them. Tell you this story. Rachel, this is gonna make your skin crawl. I open for this ventriloquist, and when you're an opener, sometimes you be opening for these headliners that's got DUI, so the motherfucker ain't got no car. So you got to drive them city to city for the whole week on the run that you're on. Buddy had a ventriloquist, and he told me that you have to build a relationship with the doll so that it feels natural on stage. So every day when we stopped to get lunch on the road, he would bring the fucking doll into the fucking restaurant and set that bitch at the table and then tell the hostess, party of 3. It's just you and me, dog. And he'd sit that nigga at the table and then throw his voice, I just have water. Why do you want to have water? You would. It's going to soak up. Oh, just give him water. Like, he's doing that at the like, but not moving his mouth or whatever. And I got to sit and act like this is normal behavior because you could fire me.
Right.
Did you talk to the doll? Roy, did you talk to the doll?
Yes, he did.
No, but he would have the doll in the trunk and would act like the doll is like, let me out, just in the middle of the ride. So I'm not saying Jim Henson is one of the few people who talk to puppets and use his powers for good and education. And I'm happy for him. And I'm happy for the empire that he's built and all the people he's educated. But I ain't fucking with no Big Bird movie, bro.
Same.
I'm just not. It used to creep me out. And I just don't know if I can ever come back from that, man. You call it childhood trauma from sleep paralysis. And I used to see the demons. So maybe it's that.
I really appreciate this perspective.
I'm not rocking with none of that stuff, man. Like, my mom bought me a Cabbage Patch Kid doll, and I gave that shit away at school.
Yeah.
Van tries to say we don't have a childlike spirit because
y'all don't like the Muppets. How you don't like
we
Kermit?
just put that energy into something else.
You don't like Kermit the Frog. Kermit the Frog.
Kermit's weak, bro. First of all, you letting Piggy boss you around. That's a bigger issue with Kermit. Yeah. Is that Kermit, look, I ain't trying to get all, alpha male,
But stand up for yourself, Kermit.
Testosterone on you, but stand up for yourself, Kermit. Because he a little soft, man. I never hated it. It's just nothing I ever sought out. I would watch Muppet Babies every now and then when it came. Yeah, I watched that in the mornings, but there's just something like even, and this is terrible to say, even Triumph, the insult comic dog.
Oh, he's amazing.
Shout out to Robert Smite. Shout out to you, Robert. I don't know if I could be in the same room with it.
I understand.
The show is Have I Got News for You, premiered in September. Tell us a little bit about the show. Saturdays at 9 p.m. Eastern on CNN, and then Sundays on Max. Tell us a little bit about it.
Man, all we do is crack jokes. If it happened in the past 6 days, we talking about it on the 7th, and we do it in a fake quiz format. Myself, Amber Ruff, and Michael Ian Black. And we usually have 2 guests every week that come on, and we just talking shit and cracking jokes about the week that was. If you angry or you didn't cry about it, I'm telling you right now, we ain't the place. So if you mad or you want to cry, this ain't the show. You want to laugh, swing on by.
Y'all have 2 guests, so I want you in the future, if y'all got 2 guests, 2 slots.
Yeah.
We...
I know if.
Okay.
I rock with y'all. And I rock with Rachel even more now because of this Muppet shit.
I rock with you too.
Better get you some Transformers, Van. Where was you? I had Transformers and Thundercats. That's what I was doing.
I had Transformers. I had the Thundercats. Shout out to my cousin Coy for stealing all my shit. I had I had all of that stuff, but I love the Muppets as well.
No.
Coming there one day, He-Man, Castle Grayskull gone. Coy just took him. Shout out. Should have seen.
But you know what? He didn't want anything to do with the Muppets.
Didn't want anything to do with the Muppets.
Right.
Watch the Fraggle Rock intro and tell me that ain't
Fraggle Rock is
90
crazy.
Muppets in a cave doing choreograph.
Well, the Fraggle Rocks, I will say, they kind of in hell. You can make an argument about Fraggle Rock.
I was entertained by Fraggle Rock, but it's creepy.
Roy Wood Jr., we appreciate
Respect,
you joining
man.
us on Higher Learning today, brother.
Appreciate y'all, man.
All right, sad news. Lil Durk has been charged in murder for hire conspiracy. Grammy-winning rapper Lil Durk from Chicago. He's arrested in Florida. Federal charges that he paid for the attempted 2022 revenge killing of rapper Quando Rondo. Do you know the whole story behind this, Rachel?
I think so. I think I got it.
While I was on Hip Hop Homicides, we covered the death of King Von. And so this is connected to that in a really specific way, because this has to do with King Von's death. So just a quick rundown of where all of this started. NBA YoungBoy, rapper from Baton Rouge. Okay.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, from Baton Rouge.
I know.
Yeah, NBA YoungBoy, rapper from Baton Rouge. And he was into it with King Von and Lil Durk. More so King Von.
Okay.
NBA YoungBoy and Durk started off cool. Apparently, King Von wanted a feature from NBA YoungBoy. NBA YoungBoy doesn't do features.
Okay.
Okay, and he's a very prickly type of individual. He doesn't do features. He stays to himself.
Fair.
This apparently started some type of dissension between him and
King Von.
Him and King Von. All right. They're going back and forth. King Von is dissing on NBA YoungBoy, blah, blah, blah. Then the women get involved. Somebody's having sex with somebody else's baby's mom.
Oh.
Somebody's having sex with somebody else's girl. The women get involved in between the two of this stuff. And now it's up between these two factions. Quando Rondo, who allegedly was the target of this murder for hire, was signed to NBA YoungBoy. Okay. King Von is signed to Lil Durk, and him and Lil Durk are from the same neighborhood in Chicago. Okay. There is an altercation outside of a club in Atlanta, 2020. King Von is killed. A guy named Lil Tim pulls out a gun after there is a fight between Quando Rondo and King Von, and he shoots Von. Von dies. After this, there was a whole investigation from the GBI, the Georgia Bureau of Investigations, and the police. We talked to people in the parking lot that day that say the police fired some of the shots that killed some of these people. People are not sure. There's a whole investigation surrounding all of this stuff, right? I actually talked to King Von's sister, who was there at the time, and talks about who she saw shoot some members of King Von's entourage, and maybe it was the cops, whatever. Lil Tim is brought up on charges for that, but to my knowledge, Lil Tim beat those charges.
Oh, wow. So nobody's been held responsible for the death of King Von?
No.
Wow.
No. Here's where the streets come into it. Sliding. King Von is dead. It's a huge tragedy for drill music and for people that are involved in it. A lot of people are saying slide for Von. Lil Durk should slide for Von. Slide means get retribution. Apparently, according to the government, Durk took that to heart. Because it seems as if what the government is alleging is that Lil Durk was involved in a pay-for-murder scheme against Quando Rondo that was attempted in 2022. This is in West Hollywood where this attempted drill went down and ended up in the death of Quando Rondo's cousin. There is a harrowing video of Quando Rondo like screaming and crying as he comes to the realization that his cousin is dead. The government is saying, shall I say, that 5 members of OTF, which is Durk's rap collective, are a part of this. That they were put up to this with money from Durk, promises of record deals from Durk, because Durk wanted to get back at Quando Rondo for the death of King Von. So Durk has been arrested. 5 other members of OTF have been arrested. Durk was arrested this past Thursday night in South Florida. He was attempting to flee the country, is what the FBI says. They say this shooting was a cold-blooded murder and tied to this years-long back and forth between these two guys. Of course, King Von was a part of OTF, and there was as much outside pressure from fans for Durk to slide for Von as there was maybe a personal imperative from him to do the same thing. So
look where we are now. So now what? It's like I wasn't aware that the public was pressuring him. I knew obviously that they were very close, and as one would be, he's upset at the loss of his longtime friend. But allegedly having a murder for hire, and now to seek revenge, which won't bring back the person that you lost, won't make you feel, I believe, at the end of the day, any better. Like you did something that people were pressuring you to do, or maybe you wanted to do, allegedly. But at the end of the day, it doesn't bring that life back. All it did was take away somebody else's life, endanger other people. And now you and others are facing jail time at the end of the day. So it's like, what did that do? Like, people pressuring somebody to kill somebody else or take the life of somebody else for what? Y'all, like, why are we doing this? I understand you wanting justice in however that looks. Of course, it won't bring back that person, but to take the life of another and just to say you did it, just to say that you were successful in sliding.
Donnie, I want you to find, if you can, the clip of Quando Rondo talking about what he would do now if somebody smacked him in the face in front of everyone.
Is that what allegedly King Von did to him?
No.
Okay.
Well, Von did punch him.
That same night in the club?
No, it was outside of the club.
Outside of the club.
Like Von, there was a fight.
Okay.
Between King Von and Quando Rondo. There was a fight.
Okay.
So, Donnie, if you can find the clip about Quando Rondo saying what he would do right now if somebody smacked him in the face in front of everybody. Here's the thing. I do think that when these guys exact revenge, it does make them feel better.
Temporarily.
Sure. I think that it does make them feel better. The reason why it makes them feel better is because I think they've convinced themselves that this never-ending cycle of violence. Actually, I don't think this. I know how this goes from talking to people that have been involved in stuff like this. That this never-ending cycle of violence is actually the only way to police what's going on in their neighborhood, right? You can't take a loss without getting back at the other side, because if you don't get back at the other side, it makes it look like someone can come over where you are and just fuck with your people, and there's nothing that you can do about it. All of this stems from the same reason why when somebody raises their voice to me or when somebody threatens me, I feel like I can't let it go. Yeah. Like literally, the same reason why if I feel played at all, to where I sit there and I stew, to like, if I have got to respond, I have got to let everybody know that's watching, and myself know, for people that are watching and for me, I have to let people know that I'm not the person you can fuck with like that. Now there is a part of me that's always going to defend myself, but there is a part of me that it's just been ground into me that showing some sort of weakness, or what I perceive to be weakness, says something very core about who I am as a man.
Mm-hmm.
So if you talking to everybody, if it's 10 people in this room, and for some reason you fucking with me, in my mind I'm thinking, why does he think I'm the nigga to fuck with?
Yeah, no.
Like,
I get it.
You know what I'm saying? Why does he think I'm the nigga to fuck with? Okay, so now I have to show him that I'm not the nigga to fuck with. Now, that's a quaint version of this.
Yes.
But even me, as being a 44-year-old man, there's a part of me that has to let go of that.
Sure.
That has to let go of feeling that there's a part of my manhood and my masculinity that's attached to somebody else's action against me. And I have to make smart decisions. This is a whole mutated version of that.
Yeah.
And it's not obviously quite the same, because I'm talking about either words or what at the very worst would be like a fist fight or something. And we're talking about people's lives here. I don't know what to say. I'll just tell them, I'll say like this. And there's it always feels uncomfortable to call out the streets because you respect the streets when you come from a place where you're tangential to what's going on in the streets. But I gotta be honest with you guys, just to all my street niggas out there, this don't seem like very much fun.
Well,
I'm gonna be real with you, and look, I get it that people come from tough situations and some people are forced into lives and they are cultured into lives. But I'll be honest with you guys, it's like, this seems like a deadly virus that no amount of money or achievement or fame or stability, it seems like a virus. Like, what would you call something that it doesn't matter what situation that you're in, that it still affects your body and takes control? It seems like a virus to me. It seems like the street mentality is a virus.
Well, yeah.
Because Durk, to be honest with you, and these are all allegations, Durk has not been convicted of anything.
Mm-hmm.
Durk has no business engaging in this. It's an extreme tragedy that after everything that he's achieved, that he could not let go of the mentality that might put him back in jail forever. That to me, it seems like a virus.
Well, it is a virus. I mean, especially when you feel like you have to answer to people you don't know, when you have to answer to a certain code, and then you stay in this cycle, as you were saying. Okay, somebody takes the life, then allegedly you take another person's life. Now, again, I go back to now what? But then you're always looking over your shoulder for the person who's trying to get revenge for you. And like, that's the cycle. It just, to me, when at the end of the day, all you want is that life back that you can't get, there has to be another way. Because what I'm not going to do is ignore somebody's feelings for that pain they feel when they lose somebody. And I understand the feeling of revenge and wanting that person to hurt in the same way that you are, or their loved ones to hurt like you're hurting at the loss of the person. But there has to be a different way. So I'm not even telling you not to get revenge. I'm just saying taking somebody's life is, and you know, as you said, losing all the things that he could possibly lose if he is convicted of this crime, or other people that are now affected and hurting because of something that you did. There has to be another way to do it. I'm like you. If somebody does something to me, it is very hard for me not to act on it. I would say in 2024, and of course there are levels to it, right? We're not talking about murder here, but in 2024, I have been challenged to that to the T, and to not matching that same energy. And what my response would be to anybody who's in a situation where they're wanting to, exact some type of revenge is, you have to find a way to I wouldn't say rise above it, but to play chess and not checkers, right? You want somebody to feel something, and this sounds dark, but I guess I'm just not ignoring somebody's feelings of pain. There has to be a way to do it where you're not taking somebody's life, where somebody's not getting hurt. Do you know what I mean? Like, I feel like I'm going down a dark hole.
No, you are going down a dark hole.
No, but I guess my point is of course you're going to want some sort of revenge, but it can't be the taking the life of somebody else. What
about this?
I don't mean it that way.
What about this? Let me give you another.
Play chess, seek justice in a different way. Is what I'm trying to say.
Let me give you another option. What if you choose healing?
That's an option.
So okay.
That's an option.
So what if you, like, a radical option for all of us that are caught up in a cycle of violence and like a cycle of desperation? What if we choose to heal? So listen.
And heal.
No. Not
and heal, because I just
wait. Hold on. What if we choose healing? And what if we all together share the load of what that means? And let me tell you what I mean by that. Because if we expect young Black men who are in these situations to choose healing, and young Black women who are in these situations to choose healing, then we have a responsibility to provide resources, to provide outlets, to provide choices. We have to help them heal. What if we say that this is not a problem that's just based upon Lil Durk's bad decisions and Quando Rondo's bad decisions and all of the guys that I talked to, NBA YoungBoy. What if these are decisions that are influenced by systems and we go, we're going to choose healing. We want you to choose healing and we want to help you. Tell you something about this. Durk and whomever else has been to a movie before. You've been to a movie before, right?
Mm-hmm.
You watch the movie. Give me a movie that you like where the bad guy dies in the end.
A movie I like where the bad guy dies?
Just give me a movie that you like.
Okay, Black Panther.
Black Panther. I would argue maybe not the bad guy. You know?
Oh, Killmonger's not the bad guy. Okay.
I would argue,
well, that's why he's sympathetic.
But he treats women poorly. But I would argue that he's not the bad guy.
Yes.
Okay.
But
But
that's
actually a perfect character, okay?
Okay, great.
So Killmonger dies. You've watched the whole movie. You've watched it play out. You've watched everything that happens in the movie. Killmonger dies. How does that affect you?
I mean, me personally, it doesn't.
Right. Do you know why?
Because I have no attachment to him.
Because what you're looking at on the screen isn't real to you.
Yeah.
I'm telling these young rappers and young guys that are out there, the kids that are sitting behind desks and in their bedrooms and that are consuming this stuff, your life is not real to them.
Sure.
Your life to them is Black Panther, where the people that are running Chiracology on Reddit that are keeping up with this stuff, like it's episodes in a book, the people that are connecting all of these, it's not real to them. There's no stake in it for them.
Mm-hmm.
They are watching Black Panther. They are watching New Jack City. They are watching Boys in the Hood. They are fans of an ongoing soap opera.
Sure.
That in your lives means you fucking go to jail for life and your cousins and your friends and your sisters get shot up. That's what it means to you. To your audience, it's not real at all. You will go to jail, you will get killed, they will fuck, they will eat, they will laugh, and they will wait for the next person.
Mm-hmm.
So all of the people that are exerting all of this pressure on you to act in a specific way that, to be honest, you say that you will act on your records and in your interviews, all of these people have no concept of what your actual life is. They don't know anything about you. They don't know nothing about who you actually really are.
Yeah.
They're basing their perception of you based upon a character that you're playing on records. Do not spin, slide, do anything for a bunch of popcorn watching motherfuckers that don't know shit about you.
I agree.
Be brave enough to be your own man, because this shit leading the same place every time is ridiculous.
Yeah. I would like to clarify my revenge comments. What I'm saying is, I think it's hard for me to ignore the fact that somebody wants to do something in retaliation. I don't mean, and I think I've clarified this, tit for tat. What I mean is, Quando Rondo's in the music business. Maybe he doesn't get the next deal.
They already did that to him.
Maybe. See, but I didn't know that. But that's what I'm saying. That should be, that is more of a calculated thing where it should be enough. In addition to getting the healing that you need. Because
Rachel's not ready to heal yet.
No. Yeah. Well, maybe not. But I just am making space for why can't both be. I would like to say that I've done a lot of healing.
Yeah.
But it doesn't mean that I'm not doing anything.
I just talked about it a second ago. I'm in a situation and I feel, a situation where I felt played.
Yes.
Could I let it go?
No.
Had to get on the phone and check temperatures, right?
No.
It's like a situation where I felt played, everybody felt played, and had to get on the phone and check temperatures.
Yeah.
Now, ended up being fine, but two people that are basically from the same place, that basically feel exactly the same way about that were raised with basically the same situation, that should be on the same accord, two great men kind of checking each other's temperatures over something that really doesn't matter. can't let it go, can't feel a certain way. It's not the way we were raised. It's not how things go. So I want to heal.
I do too. But I'm not there.
I want to play this from Quando Rondo before we get out of this topic. Just to hear maybe what he's learned. I'm not knighting or sainting Quando Rondo at all. At all. If you guys learn about this, there is so much blame to go around on everybody's side. Everybody's talked too much shit. Everybody's made too much threats. But I do want to play this.
I don't care what nobody think no more. I'm not going, if you slap me in front of everybody, I'm not about to come kill you, bro. Not because once I kill you and you die and I go to prison and 15 years pass and I'm in a damn cage, everybody who said I went out bad for getting slapped and didn't do nothing is going to eventually grow up, get older and say, he went out bad for killing him for by the slap. Bro, I understand that.
More of that. That's what should be making the rounds. More of that. More of that.
You make a decision like that and you end up gone. We gotta do better for them, and we gotta force them to do better.
Mm-hmm.
But my street niggas, y'all, I know y'all and I love y'all. Y'all gotta tell me what the appeal is, because I'm not fucking seeing it.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on. Speaking of Baton Rouge, Shaq, two Baton Rouge legends from LSU, Shaq and Angel Reese. You know what, Rachel? I want to tell us about this. What do you think? What do you think?
All right. Shaq was on Angel Reese's podcast, if you guys didn't know. Her podcast, Unapologetically Angel, has been really having some viral moments, you know?
She's doing good.
Yeah. The Kayla Nicole moment went very viral. But
Kayla Nicole, what do you think about that?
The Kayla Nicole moment went viral, but she had Shaq on this episode. And he came on to talk marriage, his latest business moves, and he also talked about the WNBA. Now, background, Angel Reese and Shaquille O'Neal, as you just pointed out, both LSU legends.
Yeah.
He is a mentor to her. They have a relationship outside of this podcast. This isn't the first time that they've connected, talked. They've spoken about this. Some people have criticized it. Shaq stepped in and said, like, she's nothing but a daughter to me. That's how he sees her. Okay? Now, Donnie, play the clip.
I'm telling you, you just lower like that to where it gives you ability to dunk. Bro, imagine you.
I'm not imagining.
Let me finish. Imagine you in the same little shirt you had on at the Wild 'N Out show dunking. You know how many t-shirts you gonna sell, Cuz? You tripping.
Oh my
what?
God.
What?
Oh God.
The same little shirt you had on.
Okay, all right.
Bro.
If you watch the clip, you can tell she is very uncomfortable.
She doesn't like this.
She's squirming. She's talking back. Yeah.
Okay. Donnie, did you see the clip that I put in the chat?
Yeah, I got that ready.
Okay, so play this for Rachel, and let's see if this changes Rachel's opinion on the entire thing.
You're not beautiful or good looking. You are gorgeous. There's a lot of gorgeous women in NBA. Like, I love seeing when y'all be coming in, and then, you know what else I realize this? Because, like, sometimes when people first see y'all, they see y'all, that's what y'all do. They don't know how fucking beautiful y'all are. But when y'all walk into the game, and men are watching the game, hey man, we like what we like. Oh my God, we like what we like. So we like that, and then we see you see y'all dunking, man, y'all money gonna go up tremendously. And y'all can look at me and in the comments, you're crazy. I know what I'm talking about.
Okay, we gonna see.
Because y'all are not just fine and hot. I'm like, y'all, some of y'all are gorgeous. Like you, when you dress up, and you like really dress up, and you are a beautiful, phenomenal looking black woman. And there's a lot of y'all out there. It really is. White ones too. Like y'all got some hot mamas in the WNBA. Y'all really do. So focus on that, and then focus on what the guys like.
No, we don't care what the guys like.
That's the problem.
Looking for approval.
That's the problem. See,
no.
That's the problem.
Why would I change? It only is getting worse.
That's the clip that. So that's the clip that a lot of people say shows that Shaq wasn't creeping on Angel Reese, but that he was essentially saying that the women in the WNBA should use their sex appeal to sell the product.
Well, I think it's both, all right? Because she is a WNBA player. You are specifically telling her what she needs to wear to be more appealing and to attract male viewers, because it's not just viewers, he's specifically talking about men watching it. So she is one of the people you're talking about. So instead of uplifting her as a mentor should do, instead of advising her, well, I guess he would consider this advice, you are sexualizing her and stereotyping women. These are women athletes, and you're basically reducing them to sex. The only way that you can even begin to talk about competing to the level like men is by wearing short shorts and reminding everybody about how beautiful you are rather than how talented you are. That is problematic. And I think Shaq stands 10 toes down on that comment, which I think he's speaking for maybe I'm not going to say a lot, but other men might also view. You're basically taking away any talent that they have, right? You have to lower the rim and you have to be sex kittens, basically, on the court to have any sort of success.
Sex kittens.
And this is bad, Shaq.
Okay.
This is bad.
This is not Shaq's best moment. It's not at all. Okay. It does, though, in my opinion, reflect
Babs Bunny.
Babs Bunny from Space Jam.
I just popped into my head. That's literally, look at how Babs in the first Space Jam, right? Mm-hmm. They corrected in the second one. Look at how Babs had to look when she competed. She was sexy. She wasn't.
And she could hoop, but she was sexy.
She could hoop, but we had to see all of her assets at the same time. I'm pretty sure a man designed Babs.
Probably, I don't know who.
Right,
who
but look at what they felt like she needed to be like on court. She couldn't just be herself. Mm-hmm. She had to be sexy and play basketball. And more than anything, and I know I'm talking about a cartoon, we were talking about the way Babs looked than how she played the game.
Is it wrong for men to want to watch the WNBA because they think the women in the WNBA are hot?
Well, no. I mean, I look at basketball players and I'm like, oh, he looks good, but it's not my priority as to why I'm watching. I'm not solely watching the game because I think he's cute.
You're watching because of what they can do on the court.
I'm watching because I am entertained by the talent. I am impressed by the talent. Mm-hmm. I enjoy watching something, that I can't do. It's greatness. It's a skill on the court. And they happen to be attractive.
Which is how the WNBA should be viewed.
Yes, absolutely.
Women that are highly skilled at what it is that they do.
Yeah.
And some of them just happen to be fine. And I'll say this. It does seem that a lot of the women in the WNBA recently have embraced their sex appeal more so. Not
like pregame outfits.
Post-game, other places that we see them. Do you think that, and Donnie, I want Donnie and Ashley on this too. Do you think that will distract some people from, not that it matters, you shouldn't be distracted by it, but do you think that, like how fine Angel Reese is, or how fine Kaiser is, or how fine some of the ladies in the WNBA will distract the regular watching male from what's actually happening?
But see, that's the question that shouldn't even be asked. We shouldn't even have to be dealing with that.
But it's a real question, though.
Because of how our society is set up.
Because of how men are set up.
Which is our society,
yeah.
Yes. Because of how men think, because of how men have been portrayed in society versus women, and women competing in an athletic sport, they're still sexualized. It's just how things are. So now we have to ask ridiculous questions of, is it distracting? Should it matter? It shouldn't even matter. Because here's the thing. If I did say that I watched basketball because I think the men are cute, nobody would have a problem with that.
No.
Because of how our society is set up.
Well, I mean, I think basketball players...
They wouldn't have a problem with it.
I think basketball players in the NBA have sort of embraced the fashion, the whatever aspect of this, seeing how they dress. We've seen different photo shoots and all of that stuff going. I think today's basketball player wants to be seen as a sexy guy.
Because there's space for them to do that because you're
not them being
you're not
objectified.
conflating it.
Right.
Exactly. There's space for that. There isn't for the women, which is my point.
Because if you objectify the women, then the game itself is going to take a back seat.
Yep.
Whereas if the men, it's just part of the package with the men. Mm-hmm. Whereas with the women, it will become the entire thing. Yep. And by the way, there are leagues where there's, have you seen the Big Butt Basketball League?
I have never heard of that.
Oh, you guys have never seen the Big Butt?
But isn't there something with flag football where the women are dressed like...
That's it's not flag football. That's
7-on-7?
No, it's not flag. They're tackling. That's the Lingerie Football League.
Lingerie Football League.
Lingerie Football League. They be hitting out there in the Lingerie Football League. They be actually like hitting. But you haven't seen the Big Butt Basketball League? That's what Shaq was talking about. He wants the WNBA to be at. Y'all haven't seen this? Y'all never saw the lady. Hold on.
They have them in like tiny gyms. It feels like
Wait,
they'd be super crowded.
Y'all never saw the lady that? I'm not laughing at it.
Buns and basketball? That's what it's called? I typed in Big Butt Basketball, sadly, because that's...
Wait a second.
Is that what it's called? No, that's a song.
No. Wait a minute. This is not... It's never funny to laugh at injuries, ever. Y'all never saw the lady playing in the Big Butt Basketball League that blew her knee out? Like...
No.
How do y'all not...
With different algorithms.
What you trying to say about my algorithm?
I said what I said.
Donnie, y'all play a clip. You got to play the clip for the people watching right now of the lady from the Big Butt Basketball League blowing her knee out.
Are you watching it now, Donnie?
Oh, yes. It's twisted. It's twisted. Oh, no.
Send it to the group.
Wait a second. By the way, it's not funny, but it's...
This is a horrible video.
Maybe she shouldn't have been playing in the league because the Big Butt Basketball League was whatever. But this is the thing.
Horrible.
So if Shaq wants that, let's let the WNBA ladies. We're not even going to talk about lowering the rim because we've been talking about that ad nauseum for such a long time. They're not lowering the rim. It's fine. The league is great. If Shaq wants that, there's a product out there for Shaq in the Big Butt Basketball League, basketball and buns. Okay, so he can go get that. There's that out there for him.
Oh my God. Let's not even talk about the injury. Let's talk about this. Oh gosh. I couldn't. Okay, forget the injury. That looked terrible, by the way. I hate watching people get injured.
All right.
I didn't know it was gonna look like that. It's not buns in basketball.
What?
It's not that is not the game of basketball. I watched her dribble up to half court.
Yeah.
Two-handed. Traveling. It's not buns in basketball.
It's Big Butt Basketball. They're playing Big Butt Basketball.
It's buns and there is a basketball.
Yeah,
that's what that is.
It's a BBL basketball league.
That is like...
It has a market.
Sure it does.
It has a market.
Sure
Let me ask you a question. If we put you right now in that league, how many points do you think you could score on them ladies?
100. I'd be holding up the sign that said 100. You got to be kidding me.
So men are going to be men, but we have to make sure, guys, that we don't pigeonhole things and that we're coming across in the best possible way. The ladies in the WNBA are some of the most skilled athletes in the world, and there's no amount of marketing that exists where they should have to sell their sexuality in order to get guys to watch. I did my best devil's advocate approach in this, but the reality is Shaq he's operating on the old operating system. But I will say this, I do not think he was flirting with Angel Reese.
I don't think he was flirting with her, but he definitely sexualized her. To her face.
I will agree. I do not think that he was flirting with Angel Reese or trying to get at Angel Reese or trying to I don't think he was doing that. I do think he was acting like they had some dirty old man vibes to it, but I do not think that he was flirting or trying to
not at all.
I think he's wondering, you can use what you got to get what you want. I don't think he was doing that, but whatever. All right, before we go, Dwayne Wade statue.
We got to stop. I think they have to stop making statues of Black people.
It's a Black thing.
Somebody else just recently had a statue and it was so inappropriate.
Yeah.
It was so, they don't, and it's like, if you're going to do it, let's do it with a mouth closed. Let's have a more, I know what they were trying to recreate, but no, he looks like a monster.
Does it change it to you that Dwayne Wade saw this statue while they were making it and he seemingly is on board with it?
I'll answer it with a question. How do you stop the process? Right? Did he see a drawing?
No.
Was it at the beginning or was it already there?
Part of this that people are looking at is the face.
Yeah.
There's a picture of Dwayne Wade looking at the face of the statue being made. And it's like Hugh was fucking with it. He also said it's one of the most beautiful statues ever created.
Well, I mean, what is it? What else is he gonna say? He got his own statue in front of an arena. Like, of course he's going to say those things. I would imagine that, I haven't seen the pictures, so I'm speculating here, but I would imagine that either two things happened. One, the face wasn't completed and he just hoped that it would be something better, the final product. Or two, it was already so far along. What was he going to do? Tell them to start over and stop it again? I don't know. I don't even know if you really have an input. It was Allen Iverson. It was Allen Iverson's statue that also I feel like they got wrong.
They almost always get them wrong.
For us.
But only for Black. Okay, we'd have to look. Okay, let's do this.
We got to.
Maybe next episode we can look at some different statues, white people, Black people. But I feel like I see a lot of statues and I almost never see, because also like wax figures, I almost never see statues
they be
that get it
messing
right.
up our wax. Remember Michael B. Jordan?
Yeah, they mess up. They mess up. All right, well, we need somebody Black in the statue wax figure arena.
Yeah.
To be able to get it right.
Give them a chance.
Give them a chance. We're out of here, guys. A lot of show. Thank you to Roy Wood Jr. for joining us today. Getting close to the election, guys.
It is serious. Have you voted yet?
I have not voted yet.
I haven't either.
Yeah.
I really was like, oh my gosh, it's next week.
I haven't decided who I'm voting for yet. So I gotta wait.
Okay, Anna Marie.
I can't believe you say that name. I can't believe you'd even bring that name up right now. It's like Voldemort mentioning that name.
Love you.
Take thin caps off, but do not stop learning. I'm Van Lathan Jr.
I'm Rachel Lynn Lindsay.
I know who I'm voting for. Kamala Harris.
Bye, guys.